Reading a little bit every day. And I'm so excited for what's coming up at the Center for Spiritual Living White Rock in August. Dun, da, da, da. We're reading this book. I love it so much. We're reading Everyday Ubuntu, Living Better Together, the African Way, and it is by Mungi and Ngomane. And it is just such, not only is it an amazing book in its content, but I want to show you what it looks like inside because it is just so gorgeous. Table of contents, you get going in there and then boom, look at that. Look at there's artwork in here, and the way it's set up is just so beautiful. So not only do I love this book for what it says, but I love it for how it looks, and combining, just art and books together is just so juicy. But I want to tell you a little bit about this book and why we're reading it. We are reading, we are talking in August about inclusion in action, how we're living and being it in the world. And this book, Ubuntu, I'm just going to read a little bit from the back for you. It is a South African word meaning that each person's humanity is bound up with the humanity of others. And it's a philosophy that expresses belief in a universal bond that I am only because you are. So this book really delves into how we can recognize each other's humanity and how we can live that together. Now, you might not have ever heard of Mungi and Ngomane before, but I want to tell you that she's Archbishop Desmond Tutu's granddaughter. And he has won the Nobel Peace Prize. He's been an important figure in ending apartheid in South Africa, and also been a key figure in the truth and reconciliation process. And so this beautiful book, it comes from an embodiment of these principles from generations. And there's the book is divvied up into 12 lessons of how we can practice and live better together using these principles of Ubuntu. And I tell you what, that it is so, it's counterintuitive. Like, it's so deeply ingrained. I've been so deeply conditioned in a culture of individualism that to even wrap my brain around the idea that I am because you are, I can't even fully tell you what that means yet. I can tell you that I love that idea and I want to understand it more. And that's partly why we're reading it in August. Oh, speaking of reading it, I will tell you that I read it in just a couple of days, front to back. I read the whole thing in a couple of days because it was so good. She tells you about these principles, but also provides examples of real life examples from people she knows, stories she's heard, and also puts in a lot of research about what we're finding scientifically as well. So I think this book is so good for people who really need that mental intellectual stimulation, but are also looking for heartfelt ways to connect. And let me tell you, the dismantling of apartheid in South Africa, which is still happening, that it's not something that's like ended, right? It's still happening. We're still healing from that. That is such a huge conflict, and that these are the principles that are helping to heal that. And not just move on from it. I'm talking about healing that, because there is a difference between healing a conflict and just moving on from it. there is a distinction there. And I think we're feeling a lot of that right now too, because while, like slavery in North America officially ended, have we healed it? I don't think so. And so we're doing that work, right? We will continue to address it and do that work until we are healed, and then we can move forward in a much different felt experience. And I invite you to purchase this book. It's sold widely. I got it here in Canada very easily. I ordered it online and picked it up at my local bookstore the next day because they had it there available. And it's $25 Canadian, which is still, because it feels like a piece of artwork, I'm just so happy to spend $25 on it. It's probably cheaper in US dollars for those of you in the US, but I highly recommend that you pick it up and that you read it cover to cover, and that then you join me in August as we then look at how do we apply Ubuntu to our universal spiritual principles that we are always looking to and discovering within, and have this intention to realize, embody, and demonstrate in our lived experiences in our life. That's what we're up to at the Center for Spiritual Living White Rock. We want to live, embody, and experience universal truths in our individual lives. I mean, yes, that is why I am here. That is why I want you to be here with me, because I have found that this is so much easier to do when we can do it in a supportive, open-hearted community that's committed to learning and growing and connecting. One of my absolute all-time favorite things to do. So let us look to South African philosophy to help lead us into how we can connect with ourselves and with each other in powerful ways that can enable us to move through conflict. Yeah, I want some of that, because I don't know about you, but conflict is very challenging, very hard, and yet how often does healing emerge from conflict, right? Something happens, we get in that kerfuffle, and when we move through it and actually heal it, we find that individually and collectively we are more loving, more compassionate, more understanding, and can move forward then with in a more powerful way where we can continue to come together. So please join me in August for Everyday Ubuntu. You can check us out on our website, csl-whiterock.com. Jump on our newsletter, stay connected, and let's continue to learn and grow together. Okay, I love you and I want you to flourish. Bye for now.